Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we are going to be talking about the match between Barcelona and Espanyol, and in this game Barcelona is going to be playing at home. They're going to be playing at the Camp Nou, and so it should be very exciting. I think that now, knowing that this is going to be Xavi's first match in charge, what's really going to be expected within this game is that many fans are going to be at the Camp Nou, and they're going to be many of them. There is going to be a full capacity Camp Nou tomorrow night, and it should be very exciting, right? Because look, they're going to be cheering for the players, they're going to be cheering for a win, and most importantly, the fans are going to be cheering for Xavi Hernandez, for him to do well. These fans, they love Xavi Hernandez. They have been seeing Xavi Hernandez over the past 20 years, and they want to see him do well as the brand new coach of Barcelona. But before we go further into this video, I do want to talk about the OneFootball app. The OneFootball app is the best football app you could find within the App Store when it comes to the latest transfer news, the daily news, anything that you do want to follow regarding your favorite player or your favorite club or your team or any international team. All of that is going to be compact within the OneFootball app. And for those of you guys who are in the UK, one of the best new features that the OneFootball app does carry, it is having La Liga highlights within the app. So if you guys do want to find any highlights regarding Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Valencia, whichever club you do desire, the OneFootball app will be having that and right inside your phone. So the link is going to be in the description box down below. By clicking that link, you guys will be able to support me and this YouTube channel. It would be greatly appreciated. But now let's get back into the video. And I do believe that that is probably the main story of this video, is that this is going to be Xavi's debut as the coach. So we do not know exactly what the tactics are going to be, the formation, who is going to be starting. There is just so many questions. And since we are going to be playing against Espanyol, it's going to be a very tough derby, regardless if they're only 11th place within La Liga and they have experienced a total of 4 losses. Espanyol is going to show up regardless of whatever does happen tomorrow night, because let me tell you why. Last season, Espanyol was not even in the first division. They were knocked out 2 seasons ago because of Barcelona. Barcelona sent Espanyol to the second division about 18 months ago, and now Espanyol is finally back within this current season, and Piquet had that last laugh. They laughed at Espanyol for sending them to the second division because look, Espanyol and Barcelona, they hate each other. They're rivals. It's a derby, and the fact that right now we have a chance to actually beat them again after coming back from the previous season, it's going to be very fun to watch this Barcelona squad continue to beat them down. So as we continue to move forward through this season, we cannot accept any loss. Like if we look at the table here, we can see that Barcelona is in 9th place. So there is so much work to do. Like, yes, I know that we have to take this one game at a time, focus on one game at a time, but looking at this overall season, there is just so much that Xavi has to pick up from, because Xavi right now, he is picking up a very disastrous Barcelona, a Barcelona that's mentally, physically broken, because these players that we have been seeing in the past 18 months, many of these players actually believe that they cannot give much more. And the fact that Xavi is just going to come in here and say, look, this is what I want to do, this is how we're going to act, we're going to be working towards this, we have to respect that. So it's not going to be an easy job for Xavi Hernandez. The fact that we're still in 9th place within La Liga, it is not going to be easy to go back into that top 3. But going back into that match between Barcelona and Espanyol, many players are actually injured at the moment, right? This is another conversation that we also have to have. Like, Xavi is going to come in here and also see that many players are not available, which makes it very hard to predict what that starting 11 is going to look like, or the formation against Espanyol, which we are going to be discussing later in this video. So players like Ansu, Dembele, Martin Braithwaite, Agüero, Dest, and Nico, and most importantly Pedri, they are all currently injured. Many of these players are in different phases. Like for example, Dembele might feature against Espanyol. There is a chance. Players like Serginho Dest or maybe even Nico Gonzalez could also maybe feature depending on their fitness. But looking at Pedri, right, he is in a completely different phase of his recovery compared to the other players, because Pedri, as of today, it has been announced that Pedri has suffered another relapse and could be out for 1 more month, which is very unfortunate, because we actually thought that Pedri was on track to at least be available next week after the match against Espanyol. And the fact that Pedri has suffered another relapse is just going to be another headache for Xavi Hernandez. Now, Xavi Hernandez did have his first press conference earlier today, and he was showing that he is very confident. He knows Espanyol, he knows their weaknesses, he knows their strengths, he knows what areas to attack. He's very calm because he understands the opponent, and he has also said that these players have been training very hard in terms of the tactics, the physicality. And then Xavi did say a few things that could give us a great idea on what we could see tomorrow night on the field. And this is what he said regarding the lineup. We train after the press conference and I'll see. We still haven't decided on the lineup. My feelings are good with the youngsters, not only with those who are in the first team, but also with those who have been rising. There may be surprises. And then Xavi continues to talk about the injuries. We don't have Martin Braithwaite, we don't have Kun Agüero or Dembele, and we have to draw young people. They are prepared. We have seen them at Barcelona B, but we will decide tonight. So this really does show that Xavi Xavi is not afraid to try different things, that we might actually see some surprises. Maybe players from Barcelona B start against Espanyol. And then Xavi has also given praise towards some certain players, right? Players that we regularly do see in the starting 11. And this is definitely going to give us an idea on where these players could be placed within the 4-3-3 formation that we could see tomorrow night. So he did speak on Xavi, Memphis Depay, Felipe Coutinho, and Frenkie de Jong, starting with Xavi. And he said he is versatile. He can play as a winger, as an interior, and even as a pivot. He has a very complete profile. Therefore, he is a very important player for the present and for the future. So this is basically Xavi hinting at Xavi potentially playing as a winger. We could see him play as a left winger because we do not have Ansu Fati or Dembele. Moving on, he continues to talk about Memphis Depay. Memphis is a very important player for us. He can make many differences. He is very versatile, playing as a 9 winger. We'll see what we do tomorrow, but we need him to get to an area to be happy with the squad like everyone else. Then he talked about Felipe Coutinho, and I quote, Felipe Coutinho is a player who can play in various positions. He has to regain confidence. We have spoken with him. He can be very important and he must find himself again. He will have opportunities. I like him personally. So based off what Xavi did say, maybe we could see Xavi place Coutinho in the best position for him to succeed. So maybe we could see Coutinho play in the central midfield position, which is going to be his best position, because if he wants to reignite the confidence back towards Coutinho, you're going to have to place him in the best position and give him the ball, give him more time on the ball to do more work with the ball, find those passing lanes, take those chances to score. And then lastly, he did speak about Frenkie de Jong, and I quote, Frenkie de Jong has to be very important to us, make a difference, reach the area, score goals, transcendental in the last line. Due to conditions, he has to make a difference, but we will value everything, mental, physical, and the training situation. So again, this is me just assuming. Xavi does want to see Frenkie de Jong score goals, being a player that is advanced and being involved within the attack. So could we see Frenkie de Jong playing as an interior tomorrow night, which is now going to lead us towards the predicted starting 11? What could we see Xavi place on the field? And I'm going to be going with a 4-3-3. I do think that this is Xavi's preferred formation. So starting with the defensive lineup, I do expect to see Jordi Alba as the left back, Gerard Piqué and Garcia as the center back duo, Mingueza as the right back. As for the midfield, we could see Busquets in the central defensive midfield position, Frenkie de Jong as a interior, and Riqui Puig as a interior. As for the front three, I do expect to see Demir on the right wing, Memphis as the striker, and Xavi on the left wing. Now, looking at this starting 11, I know that there's going to be so many people saying that this is not going to be the starting 11. There's no way that this player is going to be starting. How can you say this, Kevin? But I'm going to be pointing out 5 different points from this starting 11 and why I believe we could see this tomorrow night. Point number 1, I do expect to see Garcia and Piqué starting against Espanyol. If there was one player that fully does understand Espanyol and their weaknesses and their strengths, that's going to be Gerard Piqué. Piqué does have the most experience on knowing how to handle an opposition like this. I think that having Garcia and Piqué are 2 center backs that can retain the ball, take away the ball from Espanyol, and really have hold of the possession in that defensive line. Moving on to point number 2, Frenkie de Jong. I do expect to see Frenkie play as an interior in the midfield based off what we have heard coming from Xavi Hernandez. He wants Frenkie in a advanced position to score goals, to be that player involved in the attack, and that is basically it. Moving on to point number 3, and that is going to be about Demir. Now, I know, right? Demir is probably going to be one of the most controversial topics within this video because Demir is a player that has not received minutes. He has not received that much confidence during his time at Barcelona. But I do think that Demir does have a lot to give if he is under the right teachings, if he does understand the roles. Because look, this is a player who is young. This is a player who always wants to have the ball and attack 99% of the time. But he also needs to know exactly when to cut in. Like, there is times when you should cut in and there are times where you should not cut in because it's not going to be beneficial for Barcelona as a collective. And Xavi has said before that he wants wide wingers. He wants wingers that touches the lines. Demir does not really do that. Demir is a player that likes to come inside. He likes to work with the players, but Demir can also be given the discipline to stay out wide in order to stretch the defense, because that is going to be one of the tactical ways Xavi is going to be handling Espanyol, is that he wants these wide wingers to stretch the defense because Espanyol is probably going to be defending low, and the only way we could go through that defense is by stretching the defense. And Demir has to take responsibility, and he must be disciplined enough to stretch the defensive line in order to give room towards Memphis Depay, Xavi, Frenkie de Jong, and Riqui Puig, because what that is going to be doing is giving the players more passing lanes, more spaces to work with. And then moving on to point number 4, if it's not going to be Demir, right? If Xavi says no, Demir is not going to be it, he is not going to be the player that's going to be starting, maybe it could be Abde. Abde has been training with the first team over the past 5 days, and I would not be surprised if this youngster here coming from Barcelona B actually starts starts against Espanyol, or maybe at the very minimum come in later in the match. And then moving on to point number 5, which is going to be the final point, Riqui Puig. Again, another player where many are going to be saying, Riqui Puig, why would he be starting? There is no way he's going to be starting. He is not a good player. But again, going based off what Xavi did say in that press conference, he says he wants a Barcelona squad that can find passing lanes, a squad that can do the high press, a squad that does have a high tempo, has high intensity. The only player that really does remind me of that is going to be Riqui Puig. Riqui Puig is the definition of finding those passing lanes, of instilling that high press on the pitch. But that is basically going to be the most possible starting 11 that we could see under Xavi Hernandez. It's going to be a very big mix between the experienced players, the youth players. It's probably going to be another mix of a starting 11 that we did not see before. So again, it should be very exciting. I cannot wait. I'm going to be making a post-match review after that match is over. Obviously, it's going to be here in this YouTube channel. That is going to be wrapping up today's Barcelona daily news and pre-match preview. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.